Now, next example from the list we'll be looking at is maps, and we'll be covering hash map, right? Now, hash map is basically a key value pair, as in at times you have a data, you need to retrieve it from an Excel sheet, and where you have header information like first name, last name, phone number, date of birth, and then the data is stored in each columns against that header, right? So header will gonna remain as a key over here, and value will be the value that is corresponding to that particular header. So how hash table, or sorry, hash map actually gonna work? I'll gonna show it to you with the help of an example. Let's say I create a hash map by saying map map equal to new hash map, right? Here as well, we'll be importing it through Java util, and we need to define like the key is, let's say, is a type of a string, and the value could be of any type. We can give it as integer. We can also give it as string. If we give it as integer, we'll be only able to store integer values. If we give string, we'll be able to store string values over here. So same thing, we need to give it over here as well. And how to add values to a map? There is nothing called map.add. We need to say map.put. And you can see it is showing string key and the string value, because in the generic form we have given string arguments over here, right? String parameters. So the key, let's say I'm going to name it as first name, and I'll add the value as, let's say, Raman. Same way, I'm going to add a couple more. I'll say last name, last name, and see, instead of string, if I give some numeric value over here, it will gonna throw an error. So it will gonna say that put string in the type map string. It's not applicable for the argument string int, so it has to be this only, right? Then I'll say subject, let's say selenium, and I'll say location, and I'll say India over here, right? Now, if I try to print this map and run this, you're gonna see that it is showing the key and the value pair along with it, right? So these are the key values, and total key and the value consist of one single element. So it is actually printing 4 elements over here. If you print the size of this map, it will not gonna print 8. It will gonna print 4, right? So this key and the value is one element inside a map. And now if you want to fetch any value from this map, then you're going to say map dot get, and what get accepts, it accepts a key. So key, we're going to give the key as in, let's say I want to fetch the first name, and if I print it, if I run this, it will going to print null over here. Now why it is printing null? Because over here the first name is in capital, the n is in capital, and we are giving small over there, so it should be case sensitive, and you can see it has actually returned the first name against the key, that is first name. Similarly, if I add a duplicate key over here, I'll add this and change it to Rahul. And now if I try to print first name, it will override the previous value. So duplicate keys are not allowed in case of a map as well. All right. Now we want to print all the values from the map. And how to do it? There are a number of approaches. You can find it over the internet. But the best approach is that what we need to do is we first need to get all the keys from this map, and then we need to iterate over it to get all the values. right? So how to get all the keys? There is a method. We're gonna say map dot uh, key set. So when I say key set, it returns a set view of keys contained in the map. So why, if you see over here, the return type of this is a set of a string type. Now why set of a string type? Why the return type is set? Because the keys are always unique, right? So it will never gonna return as any duplicate key values. So it will always be unique. That is the reason it's been stored in a set. And what we're gonna do will whatever it returns a set of a string type. So we're gonna store it in set of a string type. We'll say key equal to this. And now how you're gonna iterate it? You can use a simple for each. So for each, we're gonna iterate over this. I'll name it as keys. So we're going to say keys and we're going to create a single string key and then we're going to print the key. So we're going to print, we're going to say uh, key is the key, right? And how to get the value? Value is, so value, how are we going to get it? I'll add plus over here. Value we get it with the help of map dot get, right? Like we do put. So when we say map dot get, we need to pass on the key, and key is the key that we are getting it over here, right? So if I run this thing now, you're gonna see the key first name, value this, last name, value this, subject, value this, location, value this, right? So this is how you can retrieve the values from a hash map. So this is a simple approach that we have seen in the case of hash map. We can make map very complex as well. At times the maps are very complex. It could be something like I can create a map, something like a map of a string type, and I'll say map one equal to new hash map, and I'll say string and a string type over here. So instead of giving like the key, sorry, this is angular bracket, the key as a string, instead of giving value as a string, at times what happens, let's say I want to store a list of email IDs into a map, right? So something like I have email over here and I have a couple of email over here, let's say my mail ID, right, my other mail ID, other mail ID, other mail ID, right? I want to store all these things and the key will be email. So the value actually accepts a single string. So I'll not be able to store all the values in one single key. So at times, what we need to do, we need to create a list over here, a list of a string type like this. So this is also doable, right? A key can have the value in a form of a list as well. Now, how are we going to add these values? So what we need to do, something like we need to create a list first. We're going to create a list of a string type, and we're going to say, let's say list of emails equal to new array list of a string type itself, right? Import the array list and we'll say list of emails and we're going to add all the emails. Dot add the first email, right? Same way we'll be adding other emails as well, right? Then the second email, third, and the fourth one. Right, and then we're gonna say map1 dot put, and the key, let's say I'm gonna give email, and the value is the list of emails. So we can do it in a way like this as well. So this is just like an example. It could be way complex at some time. You can create a map that instead of list, it may contain a map, string of a string type, right? We can do it in this way as well. So at times it is way complex, right? So collections could be very complex at some point of time as well. But this much we actually don't go this much beyond in Selenium or Appium or other APIs, right? Normally, but yes, this is achievable. This is doable. We're going to see some examples on this in our Selenium as well. When we're going to learn Selenium, we're going to see some examples on using hash maps as well, something like this. All right. So this is how the map actually going to look like. Okay, so we'll see some more examples once we implement these things in our frameworks. All right. So till that, you can try going through, try just Google around what is the difference in hash map or a hash table, what is the difference between a hash set or a link set or a tree set. Just try Google around some of these topics mentioned in this metrics, and just see what is the difference in what we have used over here and what are things mentioned, what are the things that are mentioned over here in this document, right? Because collection is one of the most important topic at times of interviews as well. If in case like you are planning to go for an interview for Selenium, Appium, collections are definitely asked in interviews, right? So that's it. That's all about collections.